Hello, everybody. Thanks for hopping on tonight. I am really excited for this training tonight. Our Ambassador Diamond top income earner, Alissa Bilyeu, is here.
Hello.
Yay! She's going to be sharing with us how she launches her new business partners successfully, how she gets them on the ground running quickly. I was remembering with Katie Rogers, we were both personally enrolled by Alissa, and we were talking, we were like, how did she get us off to such a strong start? Like, we were running right out the gate, and we can't even put our finger on why she got us started so quickly. And I think that's so important, that in that first week of your business, that you've got that energy and you're going and you're already signing your loyal customers. And so I want her to just break it down for us, how she does it. So Alissa, do you want to just start and tell us your story first of all, and then we'll jump into the questions?
Yes, yeah. Hi guys, I am Alissa Bilyeu, and I got started in this crazy business almost 4 years ago. It will be 4 years in April, which is like so nuts. Oh my gosh. So I met Tiffany at a baby shower. We connected. We just hit it off, sat at the same table and ate cupcakes and exchanged Facebook names. And a few months later, she got started in this business. And I just, I was watching it, like it was changing her life, and she was having fun, and she was traveling, and she was making crazy money and selling wraps. And I was so intrigued by the rep. At that time, thinking of the business, it really wasn't on my radar. And I was just wondering what the wrap was all about. And so I maxed out our last credit card, got a box of skinny wraps. And, it took me 3 to see any results. So we say 1 to treat, 4 is the treatment for a reason. It took me 3 to see results, and I wouldn't have even saw them had I not compared my before and after pictures. And as soon as I did that, I instantly saw a business opportunity. And I remember, I was going back and forth with her for a while, just sending her tons of questions and crazy questions. Every question you can think of, I would send to her. I was doing research of the company, is it legit, what it's all about. I was that person. That was me. And so I asked her for some more info, and she said it's $100. And at that time, we had $5 in the bank. We were living on food stamps and government assistance. We were young parents, and it was tough. I was in a really, really bad spot. I was overweight. I was suffering from depression. I was losing my hair in chunks because of my stress. I would be getting sick over the toilet every single night before bed. It was a really dark time in my life. And, this business found me. And it is just so crazy to think that, I had to sell things on a garage sale site to even purchase my kit. And, so doing that, I feel like that was my rock bottom of my life. And so as soon as I got my kit, I just completely hit the ground running in this business, and I never looked back. And so my first month I went Ruby, my second month I went Emerald, my fourth month I went from Emerald to Double Diamond. And that was after going to an event which completely changed my life and my business. I was at a point when I was an Emerald, and I wanted to quit because I started working out of a panic because we needed it so bad. And I come across this a lot in this business, as people who need it so badly that they just work out of a panic. And so, when that happens, you have to take a step back and really see the big picture of this business and what it can do for you and for your life. And then from there, going from double to triple, I went triple in 7 months, presidential in 11, and ambassador in 2 years. And then we also got Michael to presidential. And then on top of that, once you go ambassador, you get another account. So we have 3 accounts total. I went double diamond on that account. So we've earned over $500,000 in bonuses just since getting started. It's 3.5 years, which is so crazy. Our second year, we hit the Millionaires Club, and all of those things are great. But what's greater is being able to sleep at night and not getting sick over the toilet. What's greater is being able to give back in a month when we used to be able to give back in a year, and just showing Harper what hard work is, and what dreaming looks like. And, like I didn't grow up with someone like patting me on the back, telling me I'm wonderful and I'm going to do such great things with my life. I was a statistic and I was ready to change that. And so, this business it's helped me grow, my personal development. I would not be here without that. And, no matter where my business takes me, and I've had ups and downs in my business and I've been able to overcome them. And that's because of self-development and just growing myself in my mind. But those, that's a little bit of my story. And it's just so nuts to think like, just almost 4 years ago, where we were to where we are now, and just the transformation that's happened and what it can do for others in such a short period of time. And the people I've met, like, it's so crazy. Some of my best friends, when we got pregnant right out of high school, we lost all of our friends. Minus just a couple, but it just has shown me like what true friendship looks like and what being surrounded by positive people looks like. And we've had to let go of a lot of relationships that were really toxic for us that, when you're in it and at that moment, you don't realize it. But then as you begin to grow, you start to really be aware of the people that you're surrounded by. And it's just been such a blessing overall for us. And we love this business so much. And it's just a part of who we are, and it's our lifestyle now.
I love your story. Literally every time I hear it, I get the chills. And, we knew each other from before you started the business through blogging and, social media. And so to have seen that all happen in your life and to hear you talk about it just is so inspiring. And I love that you kind of mentioned that you had some toxic relationships that you had to let go of, because for me, at least, I know whenever I bring a new business partner into the business, they're a lot of times confronted with negativity from people around them, people who are not encouraging as they are going after this new adventure. And so I love that you mentioned that and just how, you didn't let that hold you back. But basically, I just want to jump right in and hear exactly how you're launching your new business partners. So basically, let's just pretend somebody just signed up on your website and they texted you like, okay, I did it. What's next? What is next? What do you point them to do next?
All right. So before we got started, I was talking about, when we got started in the business, we did not have trainings, and we didn't have like checklists and training pages and all of these things. And it's such a blessing for you guys. And I never want this to be something that's taken advantage of, because we had to figure it all out on our own. And, now the first thing that I do now, and it's something that I did, but now it's in the actual checklist through corporate, which is really cool that they provide us with that, because I feel like so many times there's like little nuggets that we miss when we're beginning to train someone. And so the first thing that I do is that new distributor checklist. And I'll just read through it quickly. You have access to this. But it's download the Wired app, which again is something we didn't have when we got started. And then you log onto your eSuite and you set up your auto shipment and you do your eSuite training. And this is the very first thing that I have my distributors do is, what are we going to put on your auto shipment? I always recommend wraps. Because Rack Cash is one of the ways to make money daily in this business. And I know for me, having that cash on hand, I was selling wraps like a crazy person. And like holding that cash in your hands and realizing like $25 goes a long way. Whether it's paying for gas or daycare or groceries, whatever that is, I have my new distributors make a goal of every month, how much Rack Cash do you want to bring in? And you can do that weekly. You can also do that monthly. But setting up that auto shipment is so important. And that helps me know that you're serious about your business. Because you're either going to be selling wraps or you're going to be using the products to have your own testimony. And then your eSuite training. So as soon as you get started, I have you do it. We jump into it. And so, good. Okay. So through your eSuite training, you guys, you're going to get almost all of your questions that you probably have when you get started. You're going to get all of those questions answered through those videos. And during those videos, I have them keep a notebook beside them of any of the questions that they have that maybe come up during those training videos. And then getting a t-shirt. I wore the same shirt probably for, oh my gosh, maybe until I was a double or a triple. And I wore that stinking thing everywhere that I went. And for me, you know, blitzing isn't something that I am comfortable doing, but I do it I'm doing it all the time. Even still, 3.5 years later, you guys, I would wake up and I would not let myself go to bed or go back to our apartment before I would hand out X amount of blitz cards, whatever number that is for you. But stretch that a little bit and really get uncomfortable. And like I would have hives when I would be talking to people, but wearing gear kind of takes a little bit of that pressure off of you. And then not waiting for your kit. So when you sign as a distributor with me, your goal is to get your 4 customers before your kit even comes in the mail. And to do that, you know, we're going to go through your hundreds list. You should already begin that. I want to see names. I want to see numbers. I want to see what you're saying to people. And I also provide a couple of messages, they're just basic messages about getting their new business started. And for that, I want you to think of a flat tire list. Who are you going to call when you have a flat tire? Or who are you going to call to bring you chicken noodle soup if you are sick? Also think of it as, and these are just some ways to really get their mind start working, that you do know 4 people. And something else that I always say is, if something amazing happens in your life, who are the first 4 people that you call? Those are the people that we're going to call to get them enrolled as loyal customers to support your new business. And then creating that hundreds list, like I said, it's so crucial. The only way that I can truly begin working with you is through that hundreds list. And so with that, along with the hundreds list, I have them go through your contacts in your phone, go through your social media, print off them, or just pull up the memory jogger and start filling in those names with people. And if 100 overwhelms them, we can start with 25. But as long as we're getting names written down and kind of getting their brain turning that way, that's really important. And then steps to success. So whenever you sign up with me, you're going to print off your steps to success. You're going to print off your Ruby chart. Those are musts. And on that Ruby chart, what you're going to do is you're going to put 1 through 4 on the side column. Those are going to be for your 4 customers. So that's our number 1 goal, is your 4 customers. And then beside that, you're going to put 1 through 5. And there is where I want you to write 5 characteristics of what you are looking for in a business partner. And the reason that I do that is because, when you're getting this business started, it's so easy to feel like you have to sign anybody and everybody. And I've been there. I even have to check myself sometimes when I'm we're getting down to the wire, I need to film a chart or a step to success, whatever it is. I've totally been there, and I'm still guilty of doing that often. So holding yourself accountable to those characteristics of what you're looking for in a business partner, that's the foundation of your business. And, the reason that I do that right from the beginning is because I don't want you promoting to Ruby and then the next month you're paid as a distributor. You could be a Ruby making $2,500 a month if you are taking this seriously. And so then after that, we're going to schedule a launch party, whether it's online or in person. And if I am unavailable to do it, I usually will have them do it themselves. I did mine by myself. I went to a sorority. They thought I was selling turkey and ham wraps, and it was whatever, it's fine. So they sent their house mom out to get them cash. They got cash, and I think I made $400 in wrap cash that night. I had no stinking clue what I was doing, but all I knew is get the wrap on people, tell them it tightens, tells and firms them in 45 minutes, get the money, hand them a catalog, see if they're interested in anything. That's it. I kept my mouth closed. I did not. It's the only time I spoke was to answer a question. That is it. And I was just confident because I loved the wrap. And at that time, that was the only product that I tried. And so then from there, announcing on social media. And one thing that I really love to do is we do a little teaser post. And so it's the day that they sign up, depending on the time of day. If they sign up in the morning, that afternoon, I'll have them put a post out that they have some exciting news to announce. If they sign up in the evening, we'll do it that evening, but we won't announce it until the next day. And just that they have some exciting news to announce. They're really excited for the next step in their family, or if they're single, they're just following some dreams. Just something along those lines, that they have some exciting news to announce and to stay tuned. That always gets people watching their account. So as soon as we make that launch post, people are showing interest because they've been waiting for that post, okay? And then getting to an event, whether it's a one-to-one mission, an online party, like a mini boot camp or an actual boot camp, get a training written down in your calendar. The reason that I'm huge about events is because it completely changed my life, and it helped me see the bigger picture. You know, I remember going, and it was like the last place I wanted to be, but I was committed to going, you know? And so I walk in, and it, like, the energy in the room, because sometimes we feel like a crazy person when we're in this business, you know, like we feel like it's only us. And so I always tell them, I know how you're feeling as a brand new distributor. There are probably people who aren't supportive. You know, my friends and family didn't give a lick about what I was doing. Some of them still don't, you know? So getting to an event and getting around like-minded people and knowing that you're in the right place at the right time is really, really important. And then from there, so we have their 30-day goals. We get that written down based on how much wrap cash are we going to have you earn. Do you understand what Ruby looks like and how to go Ruby? And from there, we just focus on those 3 distributors. But then I also explain the importance, you know, when you're enrolling a distributor, if you can get them fast start qualified, that's $100. So I have them make a goal for how much wrap cash do they want, how many fast start bonuses do they want their first month, and then do they understand how to go Ruby. And then so from there, once we have like that hundreds list and all of that, that's just when we start connecting with people and calling people. And, you know, I usually will try to push them to do this themselves. I'm here if someone responds and they don't know what to say, that's when I step in. But this business is all about getting so uncomfortable. So that is just like a few basic things of what I do to get a distributor started.
Awesome. Thank you. Taking notes like crazy. I know everybody was too. Okay. So Ashley had a question in the comments. She said, so when you're talking with a potential distributor and going over the auto shipment, do you make it known that you expect that and that it's not optional for their business?
I do say that it's optional, just because, you know, some people are just so stinking scared of that word auto shipment. But I do let them know that it's optional. But usually they'll always turn it on, and I always have them turn it on, even if at one point they do have to turn it off. But we usually will try to get that covered in wrap cash or fast start bonuses to keep that on. But I do tell them that it is optional. However, I just say, like, this is a great way to start making some money daily. It's a great way to try their products, because usually the people that I'm signing have never tried a product. And so like whenever I'm getting their goals, I get like their personal goals as far as finances, but also their health goals. And the same thing that I do with customers, and I'll usually recommend a couple of products for them to try out. But most of them, usually they'll come in, they'll turn it on. And I mean, there are some people who they turn it off. And there are some people who run it, but I do say that it is optional, actually.
I know this wasn't on the questions, but I'm curious. Do you still send that text that you sent when I got started? That's like basically just goes over all the details.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different now. And I can run through that with you really quick.
Yeah, I would love that, because I always think that was so good, and you like covered everything.
So like the first thing, it says, how much is it to join? And I cover that. But in that message, I say, you're going to get four wraps. You sell wraps for $25 a piece. And boom, there's your money right back. You can also use them on yourself so that you can share your before and afters. And then I have another bullet point, and it says monthly costs. And it says each month you'll set up an optional auto shipment of 80 BV. This means that you'll personally be purchasing 2 to 3 products a month to be a product of the product, or to get skinny wraps to sell for daily profit. Our goal is to get the wraps on to as many people as possible. This is how your business will boom from the start, and it's how you'll make your money back as soon as possible. this fee won't start until next month. So I do make sure that they know it does not start until the next month. And then I say, your back office that you'll be working your business on daily is $20 a month. This gives you access to your personal website and all of your business material. This fee also won't start until next month. So we will rock it out together from the beginning. And our goal is to never have you pay out of pocket for either of these. Sell once, getting your app equals 1 monthly website fee. And then it says, what's next once I join? This is a new bullet point. And from here it says, from here you will complete a video training on your website, be added to our team resource and training pages, begin sharing your new adventure on social media, building your hundreds list, and sharing your new business with friends and family. We will work on gathering your first 4 loyal customers and building your dream team one day at a time. Our goal is to help you generate a $500 monthly income in your first month. We also now have a diamond bonus available if you hit the rank of diamond in the next 3 months. This is definitely achievable, and I will be here to guide you every step of the way.
I love it. I love it. And I remember the way that you worded it, just being someone who got a very similar text from you when I started. I remember reading about the auto ship and how that would start next month, and you saying, that we were going to make it my goal to never pay it out of pocket. And I remember just thinking to myself, okay, because I barely had the money to start. So I remember thinking, had like, okay, I'm just going to have that money next month. And the way that you worded it it didn't make me scared of it. It made me just feel like, awesome, I'm going to earn more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I'll send it to people and never hear back. And it's the same thing. Like, I do want to make this very clear. It's the same thing with how I train people. There are some people I never hear from them again. They're kidnappers. And this happens all the time. So I don't want you guys to start applying this and then you have someone who signs up and you never hear from them again, or they sign up and they don't do anything. This is how the business is, I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, no. And I think I feel like it's probably relieving for everybody to hear that happens to you too.
It happens all the time, sister.
Not just us. Okay, so when you get somebody new started, how are you helping them catch the vision right away without overwhelming them?
I was thinking about this, and I feel like if they're not getting a little overwhelmed, I'm a little bit worried. Being overwhelmed when you're first getting started isn't a bad thing. You just opened a business. It's going to be a little overwhelming. It's going to be a little intimidating. But I just always, I just let them know, easy gains in this is easy loss. And so we really want to see the big picture. And I would be worried if they weren't overwhelmed. I have that written down. And so I make sure that they have their goals on that Ruby chart written down as well. So what are their top 3 goals? And a few of their biggest whys. And I think that is, so quickly you have someone sign up and then they get overwhelmed and you stop hearing from them. And that usually happens because they don't have a clear vision of why they joined the business. And so then I also ask, how many hours a day can you work the business, or how many hours a week? I usually will say per day. And then from right there, from the beginning of their business, I jump right into the law of trade-offs. It's one of the most important laws. This is from John Maxwell, and it's one of the most important laws for me of how I accomplish what I have in my business, and that is by the laws of trade-offs. And so based on the amount of time that they can work, that they give me, I will kind of try to stretch that by at least an hour or 2 every single day. And I ask, what can we start trading off? Whether it's waking up earlier. I was just talking to someone yesterday, I think, and we created a business plan, and she's going to wake up an hour earlier and she's going to go to bed an hour later. That's 2 hours of your business right there. And here's the thing is that, you can, even now today, I work my business probably 3 to 4 hours solid a day. That's it. Now, when I got started, I was working probably, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, 20 hours a day. And so you can't, but here's the thing is that it was scattered work, and it was like a hot mess type of work. And so I've learned, and this is after hitting just walls in my business and being exhausted to the point where I couldn't even dress myself. I remember going ambassador, I couldn't even put my own clothes on because I was that exhausted. And I remember talking to Pam, she's our chief networking officer, and she said, let's stop this scattered work, because then you feel like you never have a moment to yourself, or a moment with your kids, or a moment to just stand in the shower and just chill, And so I remember her telling me that, and that is when I really made sure that I had a solid list of IPAs, which is income producing activities. And they are daily must for my business, that no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, it gets done. And as long as I can apply that and then give an extra 30%, when I go to bed at night, I know that I went above and beyond for my business. And there are still days where I'm working crazy hours, towards the end of the month, or going for a promotion, or if I have teammates going for a promotion, that will fluctuate. But making those trade-offs now, if you can't build a business part-time, you're never going to be able to build this business full-time. And so, waking up earlier and going to bed later, when you start making those trade-offs, you really begin to see the opportunity that you have your hands on. And you start to respect it more, and you start to treat it more like a business, and you start to take it more seriously. And so it's really important that you do start applying those trade-offs very early on. And so those are just a few things that I do whenever someone, if they feel overwhelmed, it's probably because they feel like they don't have the time. And so that's why I do apply those trade-offs as soon as we get someone started. That also, if they're willing to make those trade-offs right then and there, those are people that I lock arms with, and I am on them, and I'm texting them, and they're calling me, and those are people that really start to work because they see the payoffs start to happen. The more trade-offs they make, the more payoffs you get.
I love that. And I think what struck me while you were talking, and what I want to make sure nobody's missing, is that you're confident in asking them to give more time to this. Mm-hmm. And I think so often people come in and we're almost apologetic, and we're like, oh, don't worry, you can work this business around your life. Don't worry, we'll make it flexible for you. We'll help you work it in 15 minutes a day. It's no big deal, But if you're doing them a disservice by saying that, because as you're talking, you're so confident about asking them for their trade-off. And as a result, I'm sure you're getting more and more people who are serious and who are truly hard workers.
Yeah. One thing that I do is, if they feel overwhelmed, they don't have the time, I have them keep, maybe for 3 to 5 days, I have them keep track of how they're spending their time. Because there are pockets of time that are going to waste that they don't even realize. And when I say that, I don't mean driving to and from work. You have the radio on and it's negative. Let's put on an audiobook. Let's do put on a training. Those are little things that people are missing that can completely change your mindset, which in turn that changes your business. And so it's little things like that, but keeping track of how you're spending your time, and do that over a 3 to 5 day period, you will realize once you cut some of that out and apply your trade-offs, you will grow a phenomenal business.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Okay. So how are you focusing on getting them fast start qualified? What does that look like? And I know you covered it a little bit, but.
Yeah. Okay. So for loyals before their kit comes, or in their first 72 hours, for this, helping them get their first win is so important. I also do place for fast start bonuses. And so let's say I sign someone up and I sign a low customer right after that, I'm going to place that customer under them because I do not want to miss out on a fast start bonus. And then I just say, you know what? I went ahead and I helped you with your first customer. Let's go ahead and I want you to match me, and let's make that happen today. But I'm helping them with what messages they're sending out. A lot of my girls, I'll send them some samples and I'll say word this however it fits you. I want this. I don't want you messaging someone your aunt and they'll be calling out hey Claire, I think someone hacked your phone. I want them to feel this is coming from you. You can also do voice messaging. And one thing with voice messaging that's so awesome is I'll send them a written out message and I'll have them record that. and you can record it as a voice message. And with voice messages, you can forward them to multiple people. Just by holding it down, there's like right beside it, there's like if you click on it and hit more, you can send that to multiple people at a time. And same thing over Facebook as well. You can send it, this isn't like as a mass like group message, you're sending it individually, but you can do that on Facebook and through the iPhone. And so if they have an iPhone, I really encourage voice messaging because it's so different when people can hear your voice. It just is. And then they love it. Like they love when they can hear you and they know it's you and like not a crazy person who stole your phone. And, you know, getting that hundreds list in quick and getting those flat tire lists, chicken noodle lists, whatever list you want to call it. But we start messaging people right away. And, you know, I help them with responses. I explain to them what the loyal customer program is and how that works. And so they have that in their notes. But our main goal is to find 4 people who will be supportive of your business starting out. And if we don't find those 4 people through like your friends and your family, we're going to go to the contacts in your phone, or we're going to go over to your Facebook, and we're going to make a post. And so we're already posting at this point. Like you've started the business, you announced you're in, and now we're going to start posting about some products. And then we do that. We do it that way as well.
I love that. Do you have some go-to like first posts that you have them do? I know you said you do the teaser, but after that, do you have one like after their announcement?
So since like we launched that signing loyal customers and distributors page, I usually will have them because we want to get them into that 150 PVV. So Ashley, if you have someone who doesn't have their auto shipment on, I know that you asked that question, getting them to that 150 PVV within their first 2 to 4 customers is going to fast start qualify you, period. And it's something that you don't want to miss out on, especially diamond and above with cabs. Okay, so I will do, and this is like period, like usually I always try to get customers that order 2 to 3 products. And I do trade-off, the trade-off law with customers as well. You know, what can we give up for a couple of weeks, whether it's going like, how about no more fast food? Let's commit to a healthy lifestyle. Now you have the money for product, that type of thing. But usually 2 to 3 products is what I always try to get people set up for. So, you know, getting packs, getting people onto packs is huge. If they're wanting to lose weight, first we have to detox the body. Let's do a cleanse and grains. That type of thing. And so I'll have them be posting about weight loss challenges or like packs that we're doing. And then that is, sometimes we'll share before and afters, but a lot of the time before and afters it's like more people look at them more when it's in a private message or it's over a text. And how I do it is like, I'll go through, like if I'm signing a customer and I'll go through, like I'll look on their social media, or maybe like they've been watching me for a while and I've been interacting with them, and like whatever their body type is, I usually will try to send a before and after, almost similar to their body type, just so that they can really envision that. And that helps a lot with them. You know, if someone sent me a picture that looked like me, and then I saw an after picture after 3 months of using the products, that helps me better visualize what I could look like after I use the product.
That is so smart. I've never thought to do that before. I love that. I'm going to start doing that. Okay, so how do you take them to the next step? How do you now get them to effectively get into a daily rhythm of working their business? Like taking them from that information overload, training videos and all of that to like, okay, this is your daily rhythm of the business.
Yeah, okay. So the first thing that I ask is, what do you want? Why do you want it? And what's your IQ? What's your I quit? Like what's going to stand in your way of making this happen? And I try to remove, so here's the thing is that people come into this business and they have a lid. They have a lid on their business as soon as they come in. They have a time frame. They're going to like, I'm going to try this for 6 months, or I'm going to try this for so many months. They always have a lid. They always have a time frame. It just makes them feel better. Okay. It takes off that pressure, because that fear of failing is so huge in people's lives, that setting that lid, that takes a little bit of that pressure off. Okay. So my goal is to remove that lid, like within our first few conversations. And so what do you want? Why do you want it? And what's your IQ, or what's going to hold you back from making that happen? And, you know, one thing that that I do is I have a daily checklist that I follow, and it's a list of IPAs, income producing activities, and it's daily musts. Okay. So every single day you're blitzing, you're wrapping people, or you're posting on social media. And when I bring someone in, I really want to know which strength that is going to be their best. And so I ask them, do you feel like you're going to do amazing parties? Or do you feel like you're going to be really amazing at blitzing? Do you feel like social media is your strength? And that for me helps me know, okay, how am I going to train them? But I also like encourage them to get uncomfortable and like drip a little bit in every single one of them. And I know for me, like I would not be here if I hadn't done wrap parties, and if I hadn't blitzed, and if I hadn't worked social media. And I didn't even tap into social media until I was 7 months, and I was a triple diamond making 5 figures a month before I even touched social media. And it's my biggest strength. But I was doing, and so now still I do I'm still blitzing people. I still have wrap appointments. I was in coffee shops and I would get groups of people together. I didn't have a lick of clue what I was doing, but I would just go over the business and I would get them signed up. And then every week they knew I would be at Starbucks. So more people would show up, and more, like I spend my summers in and out of Starbucks. And so, from there, I make sure that they do know like what's not expected, because I'm not their boss, but I let them know, based on your goals, what income you're wanting, where you're wanting to go. This is what you need to do, because so many people will come in and they'll say that they want to be an emerald, or they want to be a diamond, or even a ruby, but they don't have a realistic vision of what that work looks like. Like getting to ruby isn't just a snap of a finger. It's work. Like you're going to have to put the work in, and I don't sugarcoat it. I let them know this is what you need. And so like mapping that out for them and really helping them understand, okay, here is a list of income producing activities: blitzing people, wrapping people, social media. Posting isn't asking. We have to be messaging people. I want you to think of who you want on your dream team. Turn on notifications for those people. Let's start building a relationship. If you're close with them, let's message them. That type of thing. But I also want, looking at the Ruby chart, that's 5 people. Who are like the 5 people who fit the most characteristics. Let's put them on that Ruby chart, okay? And then from there, I explain, we need every single person at 400 in volume. This is when, again, I say, why auto shipments are important, and why 2 to 3 products per loyal customer is so important. And then mapping that out to them, like giving them a number. Okay, so you sign Bridget. Bridget needs to get to the 400 club. That's X amount of loyal customers. And whether it's, so let's say that she needs like 100 GV. I'm like, okay, let's get a system in, because then we'll have a little bit extra, that type of thing, but telling them like exactly what type of customers that they need to be bringing in. And that helps them with like a better vision of, okay, I need to bring in people who want to do like a detox. So we're going to get them on the cleanse, and we're getting them on the greens, both. So that type of thing. And let me see, I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay, so from there, once they have that list of income producing activities, I'm accessible when they need me. And I know for a lot of people, it's like for you and Katie, and, I have some girls that I can see on here right now that have gotten started with me in the last few months that I hardly hear from them because they're out working. And then there are some who are working their butts off. And then like when they need me, they know that I'm there. And then I have people who are calling me and messaging me daily with questions. Like, just because, I try to send you on your way, because I want you to go and learn lessons and build a business. But I'm always here if you need me. And I tell them that, utilize me. You have me at your fingertips, utilize me. But you got to go out and get uncomfortable and grow and build your business. And I also do that based on color personality. And so, if they're yellow, I'll love on them a little bit more. If they're red, reds, they need a business plan, but they also need some loving every once in a while. Blue people, I just go tell them to wrap as many people as they can and talk to as many people as they can. So applying those color personalities, it's very important when you are bringing distributors into your business. And so that's usually what I do, to just stay in touch with them. But I match energies, and so if it's been a week and you haven't sent me your hundreds list, chances are that I'm working more hands-on with other people. And, I used to take such responsibility for other people's businesses. Like I would bring someone in and I would give them my all, like everything, everything I had. And nothing would happen. And then I would feel like I suck as a leader, or I'm not good at this, or I would just tell myself these stories when really they had everything that they, all of us, we have what we need at our fingertips, but it's up to us to do something with it. And so I just have learned over time to match people's energy. And so, if you are gung-ho and you're ready and you're hungry, I will lock arms with you, and you have to picture it kind of like you're running on a track. And this is an analogy that I use a lot. So let's say you're running around a track, okay? And you sign someone up and you get a game plan down and you just keep on running. Well, they're walking, but you can't slow down and walk beside them. You have to lap them. And then when you come back, you're running in place beside them. How's it going? Do you need anything? Here's your game plan. This is what you need to focus on. And then you keep running. And then it's the same thing. Then you come back around and you run beside them again. It's the exact same thing. But for you to slow down, it's like you're carrying somewhat, you're close to the finish line and you're running a relay. You can't have all these people on your back because you're never going to make it. You're going to end up on the sideline just like they are. And so you can't be carrying people. All that you can do is match energies and really focus on, if someone's giving you 50%, give them 50%. But I never cross people off. I never delete numbers. I never you're done. I am always there when someone needs me. And, I signed a girl she might even be on here, but I signed a girl for the $10 kits. Never heard from her again. And just a couple days ago, she had messaged me bawling and she was finally ready. And that's what you have to remember is that you are going to bring people into your business. And, there's a timestamp on every single person that you meet, on every single person that you bring in. And that timestamp isn't up to you. And there's going to be something in their life that could happen. Every 9 months, someone's life is changing, whether it's losing a job or a sickness or someone gets pregnant or they move. Something is happening in people's lives every 9 months. And you need to be there as their crutch when they're ready. And so, when you just push people out of the way because they're not all in, don't do that. Just offer them grace and match their energy, and then you stink and keep on running around that track. And that's what you need to focus on.
That's so good. I love that track analogy. I think too, there's so much freedom in what you were saying of, if any of you guys were on before we started, Alissa and Tiffany were talking about how they really didn't have, all of this great setup for getting started and all of these resources and everything. And they're both Ambassador Diamond top income earners. And that's, at the end of the day, everybody starts with the same business builder kit. And maybe you're listening to this training and you're thinking, oh man, I feel like I've done a disservice to everybody that I've signed because I haven't done all of these things that Alyssa's talking about. Well, just start today. Start doing this now with the next person that you enroll. Go enroll somebody tonight and start practicing all of this. But there's freedom in knowing that if you haven't done this so far, everyone has the resources available to them to be successful. And so at the end of the day, it's about taking ownership of your own business. Okay, so we had just one more question for you, and that was, how are you kind of choosing where to place where? And when you're building and you're looking at those ranks and at those charts, it can be scary to sign somebody and have that 24-hour window that you're like, oh man, I have to make the right decision. So what are some things that you're looking for? How are you making sure that you're placing wisely within your organization?
Oh my gosh, the pressure. Okay, so what I've always done is I have placed to promote my entire business. I guess I didn't know any different. All I had was charts of steps to success, and that is it. That was all that we had. Okay. And so all that I knew is to build a chart. And it is still what I do today. I'm still building charts today. But when you place to promote, I will lock arms with people who are in it, and not just people who are I'm so fired up, I'm in this. Okay, you've signed one loyal customer the last 3 months. Those aren't people that like I work with, as in like lock arms, we're building a chart. Granted, like I'm there if you need me type of thing, but like that isn't someone that I partner up with. And I take, like when I lock arms with you and we have a business agreement, there's a very long conversation that happens before I truly begin to work with someone. And there are things that I expect of you. There are like agreements that are made. There are expectations. Like it's something that I have always taken very, very seriously. And you know what? If we partner up together and you're not holding your end of the bargain, I move on. And I either move on to someone else on my top line, or I move into someone under your organization who's hungrier than you are. And so I take it very seriously when I partner with someone as far as placing to promote. And also, you know, that layer of leadership is crucial to start building right from the beginning. You know, if you're going towards Ruby, whoever that executive is, you need to be prepping them for leadership. And those two people that are under them, they should be leading them and guiding them and coaching them. And, you know, none of us really come into this business with that leadership mentality. And it's something that we have to grow into, but at least acknowledge that you are building a team, okay? And so, you know, I'm looking for leadership qualities, people who are plugged in, people who are asking questions and they're helping on team pages and they're showing up to events and they have enrollments. They're enrolling people. They're not just saying they're hungry and they want this and all of those things, but they're actually enrolling people and they're getting uncomfortable. The more uncomfortable you're getting, the more likely I am to work with you. And, you know, if people are in a promoting box, I usually, like during that conversation of, you know, the accountability and what I'm expecting and our agreement that like we designed together, I will match you. And if I sign a distributor, you have 24 hours to sign a distributor and to match me. And if you don't, I'm moving on. And if I'm signing 2 customers, you have 24 hours to sign 2 customers or I'm moving on. And people do this differently. So I don't want you to feel like you have to do it this way, but this is how I've always done it. And same thing, you know, if you sign a distributor, I will place one under you. If you sign customers, I'm doing the exact same thing. I don't just expect it from you. I expect it from myself as well. And so, you know, that's how I've always done it, is placing to promote. But I have very serious business agreements with people that like, I'm not just building random people. And it has happened and I've learned my lesson, and that's why it's a big no-no for me. You know, people have been in positions making a very incredible income and never signing one distributor and never signing one customer. And it's happened. And so when I'm telling you this, I'm speaking from experience that, you know, I've given away really incredible paychecks to people who never did anything. They just happen to be in a really good position. And, you know, some of those people have came back and they've worked and they've owned up to it. You know, they know that they were put in a great position, but you know, your check's never going to show that. You know, your check is, if you're not enrolling people, your check will always be below average. The more people you enroll, the higher your check, period. And I also have had people who said, no, they don't want to be used for a promotion. And I've had people who say yes, and they don't do anything. So I move on. And you know, this is business. And that's one thing that we can't forget, is that we're building businesses. And, you know, I take my business very seriously, probably more serious than most. But, you know, I see the vision. You know, there was a time when like it would be like my business standing over me and I'm like this little scrawny person, but now it's me standing over my business. And I see the vision, not just the vision for myself, but the vision for like my entire organization. I know where we're going. And that's what keeps me hungry. That's what keeps me working. That's what keeps me fired up, is, you know, having that clear vision. But I also want to know that the people that I lock arms with, that I'm working with, have that vision as well.
I love that so much. Monica had a question. She said, what if you're seeing them working and pushing, but they're not signing? Then what do you do?
You know, when that happens, it's usually, there's always like a disconnect of some sort. There's always like something under the surface. And so I always will have them send me what they're saying. Sometimes, you know, there's people that I've worked with who, like they say that they're doing everything, but I would be like, okay, send me what you're sending. And then it's like, oh my gosh, like I just can't believe that you're saying that to people, you know, like, and some things it's okay. And I always ask, like if this is happening to someone, this is crucial that you always ask if they're okay with being coached. Like, is it okay if I coach you, or are you open to some coaching? I never just jump right in and start saying, well, you're doing this and this and this and this and this wrong. I ask them if they're open for some coaching and some learning. And then that opens the door for me to be very brutally honest with them and to really help guide them through that time. Okay. And so, you know, if they're not signing people, it's usually what they're saying. It's usually something much deeper, as in, like where their head is at. Are they truly focused on building the business, or are they just doing what they feel like it takes to get to the next level, to like, you know, there's a disconnect of some sort when that's happening. And so I always ask, okay, like if you are meeting people and you're wrapping people, where's the disconnect on sealing the deal and getting them signed up? How is that process going for you? If you're blitzing someone and no one's interested, what are those conversations? What do those look like for you? And that's why it's important as distributors that we're tapping into every single one of these, because like I can't sit here and coach you through blitzing if I'm not blitzing. You know, and if you're planning on building a business, you have to get comfortable in every single listing, wrapping, social media. You have to get comfortable in all three, because I can't have someone coming to me and saying that, you know, they blew it at a wrap party. I can't coach them through that if I'm not doing it myself and learning lessons myself. And so that's why it's also important, you know, to make sure that you're tapping into all three of these things so that you can learn lessons. Like I have learned so many lessons. Like I've humiliated myself. I've made people mad. I have been there. And so like, if it wasn't for me learning those lessons, I don't have the right to even begin to coach you through like some of those things. And so usually there's just a little disconnect. And once you can figure out what that is and dig a little bit deeper, and then you connect it, and then like a powerhouse explodes in front of you. But you want to make sure, you know, when that happens, I always ask, do you believe you can be successful in this business? And that's the first thing I ask them is, do you even believe that you can be successful? And if they say yes, then I'll say, okay, are you open for me to coach you through some of this stuff? And that's when those conversations happen.
So good. Okay, well, those are the questions that we had for you. Did you have anything you wanted to add before we wrap this up?
No, I don't think so. You know, it's just such a process. You just have to be like, you know, like fail and fail and fail. Like I'm always talking to people and I'm like, it's so crazy. Like the things I have failed at to be where I am today. But you have to get up, like shake yourself off and get back up after you fail or after something happens. And, you know, this is just, it's preparing you for something so much bigger than yourself. Like all these little things that you learn along the way is so much bigger than you and so much bigger than me. And this really isn't about us. You know, like this is about all of those people who are just hungry for more and, you know, learning these things and applying them. So like, I want you to leave this Zoom and start applying it in your business. Like, don't just have a notebook filled with freaking notes sitting on your bookshelf. Like start applying some of this, and some of it might work for you. Some of it might not, but you'll never know unless you're not applying it. And so really start applying some of this and just see if it transforms your business and what it does for you and the people that you're bringing into this. Because you're on here for a reason. obviously you want to learn, but once you learn, you guys have to go apply this and really make it happen. And I'm nobody special. I taught myself so much of this, and I'm also very hungry to learn and to grow. And I've not arrived, and I grow and I learn lessons every single day. And that's the position that you have to be in order to grow a successful business, is you have to know that you'll never arrive. You're never going to know it all. There's so much that I don't know. Like, I'm sure some of you on here could give me tips, but you have to start applying things so that you can learn the lessons that you're supposed to be learning right now.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for pouring into us.
Welcome.
I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited for this fourth quarter because we are going to be launching some new business partners so strong after all of these tips.
New products, new countries, new business partners.
I have a feeling we're going to see some promotions and some quick promoters, people that sign up.
Oh, heck yeah.
If
you're not working your tail off now, you better get to it because you are going to miss the train. And the train is leaving, isn't it, Claire?
Yes. I'm so
Get on.
All right. Well, I love you guys. Thanks for being on.
Guys.
The recording will be up later.
Good night.